Always happy to use some of my FASTLANE quick detailer on press cars. Just my luck, always rains on video day. Spray, wipe, and go. Hi guys, I'm Juliana, your automotive woman. Behind me is a 2019 Honda Civic Type R. It's been out for more than a minute now, so most of you already know it comes equipped with a 2-liter turbocharged VTEC engine, pumping out 306 horsepower, 295 pounds of foot torque, fitted with 3 different driving modes, a 6-speed manual transmission, and a triple center exhaust with chrome finish. But for me, I want to take a quick moment to highlight 3 of my favorite features before we focus on what this video is actually about. And that's teaching you guys the basics of how to drive a manual transmission. First, the exterior. The reviews online are mixed. You either like the new look of the Type R or you don't. For me, I've always preferred cars with a wider stance, so the wide body attitude blended with the carbon fiber trim and red accents hit a high note with me. One disappointing feature, the exhaust note, or should I say, lack thereof. For the interior, it's a street-ready race car fitted with sporty seats, a leather steering wheel for better grip, and a driving cluster that screams red when you accelerate. As for my favorite feature, hands down, I'd have to say the driving experience. The Type R hugs the road like a race car. The short throw shifter makes for quick up and down shifting between gears, and the automatic rev match feature is a pleasant surprise, which, to be quite honest, I've never experienced and makes for a very smooth downshift transition. But this video is all about helping drivers build a foundation to learn how to drive a manual car so you can experience the Honda Type R, which only come equipped with a manual gearbox. When you're learning to drive any form of new car, I highly recommend finding a quiet road or practicing in a parking lot which isn't being used, so you don't feel the anxiety of being rushed. But I learned here at my family's racetrack, so I thought it'd be the perfect location to teach you guys. Once you're in the car, make sure the shifter is in the neutral position. You can check this before the car is on by simply moving the shifter back and forth or sideways. Now push the brake pedal, then the clutch, and push the start button. If you're in an older car which doesn't have keyless push to start, you can follow these same steps. Brake, clutch, turn the key. Now the car's on, you've released the clutch, but your foot remains on the brake. Next step is to release the handbrake if you're in an older car, or to push the parking brake button down. We're getting close to driving, but I want to share this next trick with you guys, which my father shared with my brothers and I. Once you find the engagement position of any clutch, this means where the vehicle begins to roll without any throttle help, you'll easily master the art form of driving a manual. Truth be told, prior to this video, I hadn't driven a manual car in 2 years because I'd been spoiled with high-performance paddle shifters in my daily driver. But when Honda introduced the Type R and they only equipped it with a manual transmission, I found myself being re-inspired. It's time. Let's find that engagement position. Push the clutch down, put the vehicle into first gear. Take your foot off the brake and slowly, and I mean very slowly, release the clutch until the car begins to move. Stop the car and continue with this process 5 or 10 more times, or essentially until you're comfortable. Now, I want you to repeat the same process, but with your throttle pedal. Put the parking brake on and look down at your driver cluster. All cars are different, however most don't require you to use more than 1,500 to 3,000 RPMs to change gears. I suggest keeping your RPMs, revs per minute, low in order to have better fuel economy and less wear and tear on your engine. I mean, once you're comfortable with driving a manual, Then you can begin maximizing the torque of your specific vehicle. For me, that's around 4,500 to 5,000 RPM in this Type R, but again, that's for me. Once you're consistently reaching 1,500 to 3,000 RPM range on the cluster, your muscle memory will begin to remember the pressure it takes to apply on the throttle. So now the vehicle will move forward. I mentioned at the beginning of this tutorial that this video is all about learning the basics. I want you to learn at your own pace. If that means practicing how to engage the clutch or finding your perfect throttle position for weeks, then so be it. Again, just find an empty parking lot or a quiet street. Experienced drivers like myself will appreciate you learning and being confident before hitting the road. And trust me, when you're finally ready to take your manual car on the road, everything will happen very quickly when other drivers are around. So take your time getting there. It's not a race. Now it's time to learn how to change gears. And trust me, once you learn how to change from first to second, the rest is easy breezy. Make sure you're in a straight line and have a lot of space so you can try multiple times. Clutch is in, and similar to how you practiced earlier, begin to release the clutch slowly. Find that perfect engagement spot and begin to apply the minimum RPMs required to move the vehicle you're in. Are you ready? Change gears and slowly release the clutch between shifts. Perfect! You've done it! I told you it was easy breezy. Now keep practicing because every gear is the same. Clutch in, release the clutch slowly, apply throttle. Practice, practice, practice. You've been practicing for a while now, so this is easy. But now you're thinking to yourself, well, how do I downshift? That's just as easy. Same process, but just reverse. And here's a simple trick my brother Enzo shared with me when I was learning. He said, Jules, don't focus on going through all the gears when downshifting. Most people don't. Use your brake pedal to slow down and practice going from 6th to 5th gear, depending on how many gears your particular vehicle has. When you're comfortable downshifting with one gear, add more. One last item before I set you free. Reversing. Just as easy as upshifting, essentially follows the same principles we've already covered. Find the reverse position on the gear selector. There's usually an image or a diagram on or near the shifter which indicates how to put the vehicle in reverse. Clutch in, move the shifter into position and release the clutch slowly until you find that same engagement sweet spot you did before. Amazing! That's it, you're ready to go. If you guys have any questions, please never hesitate to comment below or send me a private DM. I'm happy to help. I'm Juliana, your automotive woman. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss my life in the fast lane.